Pretty, pretty, pretty. Hello, it's only me again here with another lo-fi vid made in a really confined space. So today is all about, well, I'm making a cold process soap as usual, but I'm using a specific fragrance. I'm using this fragrance, Nutcracker, which is from Craftastic here in the UK. Now, Nutcracker, I make a bath bomb and I make a whipped soap in it, and my customers go absolutely mental for it. I always get a wow when people smell this. And the scent is very hard to describe. Some people describe it as like popcorn or biscuits. You can smell coconut in there. I can smell a hint of cinnamon. And lemon. There's a lot going on. It smells absolutely edible. It is just, if there was only a cake or a biscuit that actually tasted like this smells, I'd put on £100 in no time. Anyway, so I've decided that maybe I should add a cold process soap using this fragrance, but I don't know how it's going to work out with a cold process soap, so I'm just going to make a standard soap with this fragrance and see how it turns out, see how the fragrance pulls through. No idea how it's going to behave. We'll see. I've got all my ingredients weighed out here. So my liquid oils for this soap are olive oil and some castor oil. I'm putting in oat milk. I've got some really lovely cocoa butter over here, some shea butter and coconut oil. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hard oils in with my liquid oils and put them in the double boiler to melt down. So in goes the coconut, in goes the shea, and in goes that wonderful smelling cocoa butter. And off to the double boiler. So the Nutcracker bath bomb and whipped soap I make are yellow. So for this soap, I didn't want it to be plain yellow, but I'm using yellow as a background colour. So here I've got some yellow mica mixed with some olive oil. I'm also going to be using some black as an accent colour. This is this is activated charcoal mixed with some oil. And I'm also going to attempt to drizzle in some gold, and I want to try and keep it sparkly. So I've mixed some gold mica, which is a very sparkly gold as well, mixed that with some oil, and I'm going to just kind of drizzle it into the soap and then drizzle some on top as well, and I'll see how that turns out. While my oils are heating up, melting down, whatever, I'm going to prepare my lye. Now recently I've started adding in some citric acid into my lye, and going forward that's what I'm going to be doing with any new soaps. Citric acid helps bind any heavy metals in the water, which really it creates a more bubbly bar and stops soap scum. So this needs to dissolve first before I put in my sodium hydroxide. So I've just poured in the citric acid and I'm giving that a mix round and give it 5 minutes to dissolve. When it comes to putting citric acid into your lye, you do need to adjust your sodium hydroxide, because citric acid being an acid will cancel out some of the alkaline. There is a way to adjust this, or you can just let a soap calculator do it for you. There's one on a site called Soapee, that's SOAPEE, and there's a little tick box in there that will, which says adjust for citric acid or something like that. You just tick it, say how much of a percentage of citric acid you want in there, and it does all the calculation for you. I've gone with 2%. So I'm just going to let that dissolve in before I add the sodium hydroxide. I'm also adding oat milk to this soap, but I don't put the oat milk in with the lye. I wait until I add that in with the oils, then mix that in and then add the lye. Okay, so the citric acid, it just takes a couple of minutes or so for that to dissolve. And so now I'm going to add my sodium hydroxide, and I know that there's a big lump in there, which I hope is not going to splash. There, nice and safe. So I'm just going to stir that in. There's a lot of reaction there. Presumably that's because it's reacting with the citric acid. So give that a stir, leave that to cool down, and wait for my oils, and then we're good to go once everything's at room temperature. Okay, so everything's cooled down now. Not quite as cool, but I'm adding something cool into here, the oat milk, which will cool it down more. So I'll pop that in. And then I'll just blend that up. Well, anyway, let me just get started, and it's time to add in the lye. There we go. Bring it up to emulsion. So at this point now, I just want to split some of my batter off, and I just want really a small amount of black. Don't really want the black overwhelming the soap. So I'm hoping this, because it's charcoal, I'm hoping it's going to mix in nicely. And I don't think I'm going to add any fragrance to this part, it's just so small. I think I'm just going to leave that fragrance free. So before I add my fragrance, I am going to add my yellow mica to my main soap part, my main jug. If I have to abandon my design part of the way through, I'm quite prepared for that. So I'm just going to add the fragrance oil. I'm going to stir that in. What I really don't want is soap on a stick. So my next move is to achieve the swirl that I'm aiming for. I want to put, I'm doing like an in the pot swirl, and I always feel it works better in a wider receptacle. So I'm going to pour some of that in, and it smells absolutely phenomenal. And then I'm going to put in just a few bits of black into there, a few bits, a little bit, and then I just want to drizzle in, drizzle in some gold. I do want to save a little bit of that for the top too, and then I'm just going to pour. I think that's probably spread out the black more than I really wanted. but we'll see how it turns out. It may turn out absolutely lovely, and that's for me, is the best part of making soap. The magic moment is when you unmould it and cut it. So into here again, I just want to swirl a little bit of the black. I think I probably made too much. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to overwhelm it. And then a little bit more of the gold. I just want to serve some tiny bits for the top. Now I'm going to pretty. Let's pour it. I always feel in the pot swirl works better in a wider slab mould, but I'm going for it anyway. And we'll just start here and let it move along the mould at its own pace. I do think I've added a little too much black there. Too much black, it's going to be a little bit murky, I feel. But we live and learn. Down the edges, it smells fantastic though, all the same. Pop that down there, and then I'm just going to drizzle more of this, just dot it on the top. We'll give that a little bit of a scrape out. Horrible grating noise. Then I'll get my extraordinarily long kebab stick and swirl the top. This kebab skewer is about, I don't know, it's about 18 centimetres. I don't know, I'm just going random with this. There we go. Flipping the phone with it. Just going random. I did know that I wanted a lot less black than any of the yellow, but I still think I've overdone the black. But we'll see when we mould it. Let's leave it like that and just tidy it up. Oops, made that, never mind. Whatever the swirl does, this is going to smell really gorgeous. And quick squirt with some alcohol. And then I'm going to put this somewhere cosy to saponify and hopefully go through gel. Be back to unmold and for the cut. I'm just going to zoom through the cutting and I'll just cut it and show you the bars. I think without saying anything, but we'll see. Not really seeing anything of the gold. It's actually still warm in the middle, which I didn't realise. So I think going forward, I think the fragrance is really great in the soap. It's coming out really strong. I'm not sure that I actually want to add any more colours. I think I'm going to just make it a plain yellow, and I may just instead add it to my silk soaps range. Always worth experimenting, and I wanted to try the yellow and the black and the gold to complement the packaging on my whipped soap and the decoration for the Nutcracker bath bomb I do. But yes, I think I'm going to do this just a plain simple yellow in the future. Anyway, I'm just going to plane these, bevel them, steam them, stamp them, tidy them up and take some photographs. I'll see you later.